first of all, some general observations before we come to the questions. Number one, you are relying on brute force. Brute force क्या होता है? That is your knowledge, memory, है ना?
Yes, sir.
Now this, I understand. The good part is that you have read, you have worked hard in understanding this. The bad part is sometimes in UPSC it backfires. Backfires क्यों? You may get a paper of which there is very less which you can understand as directly read. देखो टेस्ट पेपर के क्वेश्चंस ऐसे फ्रेम्ड होते हैं कि आपको थोड़ी सिमिलैरिटी फेमिलियरिटी नजर आ जाती है ना? What
Yes,
happens in
sir.
UPSC exam is sometimes you will not find that similarity familiarity thing, and so there this brute force will not work. Although I am saying without knowledge exam prelims का नहीं निकलेगा, but only with knowledge भी नहीं निकलेगा. It is an excellent thing that you have worked so hard in understanding the concepts of polity, in understanding what it takes to mark the right option of those questions that you know, है ना? But we have to also solve questions that we do not know, and what therefore we require is a method to solve those which we don't know. That is first thing. Secondly, in your case, even when you know, don't forsake your method. So in if it, I think it was question 2 or question 3 in which you answered that question in around 10 or 15 seconds. I think it was regarding supplementary grant. You did not even think a lot about exceptional grant, excess grant, additional grant. It is okay that you knew the answer to it. Okay. But it was not a very, very simple, straightforward question unless and until you just revised it and you know, right?
Yes, sir. I
Because
saw the keyword and I marked.
So this thing for a UPSC exam, in that pressure, you cannot forsake your method and not go through all the options thinking what each option is. Because once you study these grants, they are very, very, very nearby, right? Exceptional, excess, additional, supplementary, बहुत close by हैं उनके meanings, right?
Yes, sir.
कि किसमें भाई साल भर में हमने ज्यादा खर्च कर दिया है than what was given, in which the money was allocated was less, in which we require reappropriation. So I would have expected you to at least spend more time than 10 seconds, क्योंकि 10 सेकंड तो मुझे क्वेश्चन रीड करने में लग गया जितना बड़ा था वो. And by the time I was completing the question, you had marked. Okay, that is good in a way. Again, I am saying that it shows that you are well read. पर prelims में ये दिक्कत कर जाएगा. I hope you are understanding my point.
Yes,
Even
sir.
when we know a question, we have to not forsake our method at any cost. फिर भी हम वैसे ही जाएंगे, exceptional क्या है, excess क्या है, additional क्या है, supplementary क्या है, ठीक है? Even if that comes at a cost of additional 20-30 seconds, no problem, है ना? Because last में आपके पास बहुत ज़्यादा समय था and then you were just going through the questions, है ना? यहाँ पर तो बहुत ज़्यादा confusing paper नहीं था. UPSC में confusing होगा, and given that much of time, you will start to second guess.
Yes,
है ना?
sir.
So make sure that your learning as compared to so far that SATs we have taken, it is slightly different, and your learning is number one, to solve questions that you don't know, and second, even when you know, do not forsake the method. See, everybody's SAT is different, right? So
Yes,
now
sir.
with that understanding, you already now at least have an idea, क्योंकि हमने कल इकोनॉमिक्स के टेस्ट में देखा, या आपने प्रीवियस अगर SAT के वीडियोस देखे होंगे. So you already know my method, right? Yesterday you saw every time GDP came, GNP came, I wrote the full form.
Yes, sir.
It was not like कि मुझे नहीं पता कि ग्रॉस डोमेस्टिक प्रोडक्ट और ग्रॉस नेशनल प्रोडक्ट, बट why should I make even that slightest of probability for error to occur just because I was lazy enough to not write gross national product, है ना?
Yes.
तो जो क्वेश्चन आता है उसको तो किसी भी हाल में अंडर नो सर्कमस्टेंसेस इट शुड बी मार्क्ड इनकरेक्टली, है ना?
Yes, sir.
Number one. And second, we have to let go or come out of this comfort zone of solving questions that we know, and then we have to go into that domain जहां वो 10 या 15 क्वेश्चन होंगे which we do not know and which we have to solve. Okay. Now, having said that, your score is good, although with you it is expected that you have to do much better. So let us see what you have marked incorrectly. Tell me when the question paper is visible clearly to you.
Yes, sir.
So you have
Visible clearly.
question 4 is incorrect. हाँ, अब देखो ये लैप्स वाला जो क्वेश्चन है इसमें थोड़ा बहुत हमको टाइम स्पेंड करना था और थिंक करना था, है ना?
Yes, sir.
So what happens when does a bill lapse? Let us see. Just a second. So lapse कब होता है बिल? लैप्स के लिए एक ही चीज दिमाग में रखनी है, दैट द न्यू काउंसिल ऑफ मिनिस्टर शुड बी इन कमांड ऑफ द बिल. भाई नई सरकार बनी है, उनपे पिछली सरकार का बिल थोपा जाना चाहिए क्या? Should they carry the burden of their predecessor, or should they come up with a new policy, new manifesto, new methods of governance, rule, etc.?
New methods.
So we will apply this single idea, and इससे हमको हर बार पता चल जाएगा कि काउंसिल ऑफ मिनिस्टर्स के पास जब भी पावर होगी बिल को बदल देने की, तो उस केस में बिल लैप्स नहीं करेगा. Whenever they are powerless, then the bill will lapse. For example, a bill introduced in Rajya Sabha and referred to the joint committee set up by Rajya Sabha. Do they have a problem with this? यहाँ से पास होके कहाँ जाएगा?
लोकसभा.
अगर राज्यसभा में बिल पास हो तो राज्यसभा अकेले कुछ कर सकती है? नहीं.
No, sir.
It requires राज्यसभा, then it requires Lok Sabha, then it requires president. Council of Minister can affect this also because they are in majority in Lok Sabha, and they can affect the president also because the president acts by the aid and advice of
Council of Ministers.
Council of Minister. So both the places they can kill the bill if they want, right?
Yes,
so if
sir.
they can kill, will it lapse in this case? उनको जरूरत है कि lapse हो जाए bill?
No.
No. So here it is not lapsing. A bill which has been passed by the legislative assembly of a state and pending, sorry, not spending, pending in legislative council. Now this has been passed by the legislative assembly of a state. So once it is passed by the legislative assembly of the state, यानी कि this is equivalent to saying कि ये लोकसभा में पास हो गया है और राज्यसभा में पेंडिंग है. What will happen in that case?
Sir, it should lapse.
हाँ, it is equivalent to saying कि मतलब ये लोकसभा में बिल को तो किल नहीं कर सकते ना.
Yes, sir.
So from Lok Sabha it has gone. So in this case it should
Lapse.
any business pending before the parliamentary committees of Lok Sabha. अब मुझे ये बताइए कि जब लोकसभा डिसॉल्व हो जाएगा तो पार्लियामेंट्री कमिटीज के साथ क्या होगा?
सर इधर एक डाउट था बिकॉज
हाँ,
बुक में लिखा है कि most of them lapse but those that are pending before committee on general assurances do not.
हाँ.
तो इसलिए मुझे लगा कि वो अगर मेरे स्टेटमेंट पक्का है तो ये स्टेटमेंट रॉन्ग नहीं हो सकता काइंड ऑफ.
See, the idea is कि ये जो पार्लियामेंट्री कमिटी ऑफ लोकसभा है, कमिटी ऑन जनरल assurances will be committee from both the houses, right?
Okay, got it.
Number one. हाँ. Secondly, once the Lok Sabha dissolves, the committees of Lok Sabha will also dissolve, क्योंकि वो members उसके थे. फिर जब नया लोक सभा आएगा तो नई उसकी कमिटी बनेगी, है ना?
Yes sir, वो मुझे एक सेंटेंस से मैंने कंफ्यूज
करेक्ट
कर
करेक्ट.
चला
सी
था
दैट इज
कि
व्हाई गेटिंग मोर नॉलेज, है ना? यू रिमेम्बर्ड कि ये नहीं होना चाहिए, है ना?
यस सर.
कि बट देन यू हैड टू थिंक कि जनरल अश्योरेंसेज वाली जो कमिटी है वो सिर्फ लोकसभा की नहीं है. दैट इज अ जॉइंट कमिटी, नॉट अ सेलेक्ट कमिटी.
यस सर. तो
सो
फिर वो जॉइंट कमिटी से ऊपर का स्टेटमेंट में डाउट हो जाता है, ऐसे
करेक्ट
वो
करेक्ट
सर्कल हो गया.
करेक्ट करेक्ट करेक्ट. ऊपर वाले में जॉइंट कमिटी लिखा था, बट हियर दे आर टॉकिंग अबाउट कमिटीज ऑफ लोकसभा विच इज अ सेलेक्ट कमिटी.
यस सर, गॉट इट.
So now come back to the options. So this will also lapse any business pending before the parliamentary committee, है ना?
यस सर.
It is asking which will lapse. So now let us come back to the options given. आंसर होना चाहिए जिसमें टू और थ्री हो. So 2 and 3 is in answer number C. So 4 का आंसर है C. 2 and 3, these two will lapse, first one will not lapse. Okay.
यस
Now
सर.
question 9 is incorrect. Let us see question 9. With reference to member of parliament's qualification in representation of people's act. So it is asking about qualifications mentioned in RPA, right?
यस
So
सर.
qualifications कुछ तो constitution में ही लिखे हुए.
यस.
For example, citizen of India, he should be above the age of, अगर लोकसभा की बात कर रहे हैं तो above the age of 25 years, राज्यसभा की बात कर रहे हैं तो above the age of 30 years, है ना? There are some qualifications which are mentioned in RPA 1951. So this question is regarding the qualifications mentioned in RPA 1951. He और किसके लिए है? Members qualification in which house? First statement किस house के लिए?
राज्यसभा.
कहाँ लिखा है ये?
Sorry, statement number 2 was concerning Rajya
हाँ,
Sabha. Sorry.
first is not for Rajya Sabha. First is a generic statement, right?
Yes sir.
Okay. So you made this mistake.
नो सर, मेरा ये सेकंड स्टेटमेंट से प्रॉब्लम है, बिकॉज मैंने पढ़ा था कि यू कैन बी अ मेंबर ऑफ एनी प्लेस इन इंडिया एक्सेप्ट फॉर सिक्किम, आसाम एंड वन मोर स्टेट.
You can be from Sikkim, Assam, one more state. Why not? What is the problem in Sikkim, Assam? I think Manmohan Singh came from some
Yes, from
northeastern
Assam.
state.
Assam only.
Indian Prime Minister was from there, and he was a member of Rajya Sabha. Sir is right. Just a second. Give me 1 second.
इन राज्यसभा फ्रॉम आसाम.
So if he was from Assam, so there must not be such a thing, right? So sometimes we also have to remember things, and we have to correlate, corroborate from various angles. जहां पर confusion है तो हर एंगल से सोचेंगे. एक स्टेटमेंट को इनकरेक्ट मार्क करने के लिए what is the evidence we are having, what is the fact we are having. Only when we are not having this, then we will rely on gut. This should not supersede this. और कई बार हमको,
Yes
if
sir.
you will just recall from your knowledge, sometimes because of over reading, lack of revision, xyz, so many factors, you will remember wrong. So although you should not doubt what you remember, but always try to doubly check what you remember. जैसे आपने वहां पर मान लीजिए ये रिमेंबर किया फैक्ट, then try to think any counter fact with respect to this. Okay.
Yes sir.
So for contesting for Rajya Sabha, he can be registered from any place in India. That is correct. And in general, he should be registered for an elector in parliamentary constituency. So constituency कहाँ का होगा? लोकसभा का, है ना? क्योंकि टेरिटोरियल कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी
Yes.
लोकसभा में होते हैं. So statement 1 is also correct. Statement 2 is also correct. Answer is C. ठीक है?
Yes, sir.
And any other doubt in the test?
No, sir.
Okay, so we'll see in the next test. Adopt these things, have a method, and do not rely only on knowledge. Also cross check your what you remember. See, knowledge is fine. There's a difference between knowledge and remembering, है ना? You are a student of philosophy. Memory is not a valid source,
It's
है ना?
representative. Yes, sir.
Correct. So sometimes memory can be स्मृति दोष, गलत बात याद आ सकती है ना? बट ऐसे
Yes,
क्वेश्चन
sir.
में वेयर वी आर कॉन्फिडेंट कि ये क्वेश्चन मुझे आता है, उस क्वेश्चन में हम डबली चेक कर लेंगे. वी विल स्पेंड दैट एडिशनल 10 seconds, नो प्रॉब्लम. Having said that,
Okay.
I am not saying you should second guess yourself, because वो तो फिर chaos हो जाता है. To you trust your guts, you trust your knowledge. Only thing I am saying is जो क्वेश्चन सही होने हैं उसमें आप हर वो कोशिश कीजिए कि they become right, because we cannot afford to mark them incorrectly, and our knowledge should, that is the last line for the session, knowledge should work for us, not against us. Okay, so that is all. Thank you. We'll see you in the next session and try to apply this learning.